Hey AT family, so you know that volleys should be simple and you know that you should not swing at them, but how do you go about actually executing that and fixing that technique? I'm Kirby Bridges and I'm a pro here at EssentialTennis.com, where it's our mission to bring passionate instruction to passionate players just like you. Our recent VIP student, Dennis, flew out to work with us in Milwaukee, Wisconsin from Lakewood Ranch, Florida. He's a player who's had a lot of success at the net, but is looking to clean up his technique, and in this next lesson, we're going to methodically do just that. Let's go right to the court so you can see just how we coach Dennis to improve his volleys. At the end of the video, I'll also let you know how you can get your free volley action plan so that you can use our coaching to improve the very next time you hit the court.
Ready to take a look? I'm just gonna let this play for a minute or so. Okay. I just want you to watch and then tell me what your thoughts are. And I'm gonna point out several kind of detail, nuance things. For me, there's two primary things. The first primary thing is there's a lot happening with your racket face and with your racket head.
Not as simple as you'd like.
Yes, it's not as clean as what we'd like to see. And kind of an offshoot of that symptom is the fact that you're doing a lot from the shoulder down, independent of your body, which I think is something you actually pointed out. Was it at dinner yesterday, or was it on the court? I can't remember. You made mention of
probably at dinner,
of volleys specifically.
We were talking about what we were going to do today.
So watch the alignment of your shoulders, and watch your hand in your racket head. So what's happening here is, if you look at where your strings are facing, here your strings are facing your target forwards, and then within a couple frames of video, they're facing the chair where you're sitting now, and your body hasn't done much. It's turned forwards a little bit, but the point I'm getting at here is a whole lot has happened here without much happening here. And so on this particular shot, and I can show you other examples of this, what's happening is your hand, your forearm, your shoulder are very active while your body is relatively passive compared to each other. And we'd love for it to be the opposite. We'd love for your hand, your shoulder, your forearm to be pretty passive and do more of the work with your core directing the ball. And the benefit that gives us is the part of the racket that actually determines where the ball goes stays in line with where we want the ball to go. And the way that you're doing it here, depending on when you hit the ball, there's all kind of different directions the ball could go in. Because there's a lot going on.
A second or a quarter of a second late or early or whatever.
Exactly. And that mainly happens on your forehand side. The kind of the little bit of overactivity. Like look at watch this from contact.
Ooh, nice.
There's just like there's just stuff going on that we need to clean up.
I hear you.
Good news is you have great instincts for finding the ball and getting your strings behind the ball. Honestly, at least within this context. You're getting away with this like the vast majority of the time. Like you made most of the shots, but this is within, again, a context of where Kirby's trying to facilitate, good warm up for you. Within the context of 4 or 5 doubles point, this extra stuff is going to be a huge detriment. The other main thing, I came over to your backhand side to capture this. The other main thing I'm seeing, and it's actually pretty subtle when I came over here, is you're using a different grip for your forehand volley and your backhand volley.
Oh, really?
And that's something that only a small, like on one hand, I can count the number of times I've seen a really high level player get away with it.
Yeah.
So here we can see your backhand volley grip. Your big knuckle, your index finger knuckle, is on the flat part of the handle up on top. This is basically kind of like a one-handed backhand kind of drive grip. You can really clearly see the top edge of the racket, meaning this, and your big knuckle is on top of that top section.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you're using on your backhand side.
Yeah.
On your forehand side, I think there was one. See the big knuckle of your index finger.
Yes.
So now it's over on the side of the handle, and this is the grip that you use for your forehand. Here, that's a good look at it right there. And on your backhand, it's up on top.
I move it up.
Yeah. So this is just additional volatility.
That's just, it's a half a bevel
Yeah.
doing that? Yeah.
And the problem with this is you wait with the forehand one because you would rather hit a forehand volley.
Right.
And so when it goes to your backhand side, you have that extra time that it takes to have to shift to where you like to hit your backhand from. The additional problem with that is since you're waiting with a forehand grip, you're going to naturally err on the side of I want to hit a forehand because it's the one that you're most prepared for. You're not evenly prepared for either side. All right, so you're going to start off right here would be great.
Okay.
Kirby's going to toss some forehands to you underhand, and what you're going to do is from your ready position, you're going to turn your body as a whole, aka make a unit turn to your left, so that your body is going to turn to about 45 degrees to the net, and then you're just simply going to lay the racket face open with your hand, and then I want you to let the ball bounce off of your racket.
Right.
So can you give me one or two, please, Kirby, to my righty forehand? So I want you to watch my racket face as the ball gets to my strings. I'm not hitting the ball, I'm not punching it, I'm not guiding it, I'm not even rotating my body forwards at all. I'm just allowing it to bounce off. And if the ball hits the middle of your racket and your racket is open, it's going to go back over. You don't even have to do anything to make it go over. Good. That last one was your cleanest and your simplest so far? You're doing almost nothing, but not quite. First one was your cleanest. And then on this next one, you push forwards a little bit more. Of course, that's much, much cleaner than what you're used to hitting, but just for the sake of experience and like feeling what it's like, I'd love for you to do nothing for a couple volleys. Turn and just let the ball bounce off. Good. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Cool, huh?
Yeah.
You don't even have to hit the ball.
Look at that.
Now, of course, we'd like to hit something more competitive, and we'll get there. But this is the foundation. Now you're going to turn to your right, make that same about 45-degree turn, lay the racket face open, and just leave the racket face there using the same grip. You have a picture in your mind of that clean forehand that I showed you?
Yeah.
On your backhand, you're moving the racket a solid 1.5 feet.
I see. Okay. I'm going to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so what I love to see is from your ready position, from here, as you turn to the side, watch my bottom hand. All you need to do is just slide your hand out to the side and leave the racket there.
Okay.
So you were starting from like your hip and making contact out in front of you and needing this, like all this movement out to the ball. When what I'm asking you to do is just leave it there. Better, still moving the racket up. Better, that was cleaner, it's just off center. Here, watch me do a couple. Now here's, I shot these just before you and I started talking. So you're going from down here up to the ball. And what you just said is absolutely correct.
Right.
All that's moving here is your arm. Your arm and your hand are going up to the ball to meet the ball. I've never seen myself do this, so I'm just curious.
I thought you were pretty good.
All right, Kirby's gonna go back and forth now between your forehand and backhand.
Okay.
You're gonna use the same grip on both sides and use the same mechanics. Just a unit turn to whichever side the ball comes on, laying back of the racket face, and just let the ball bounce off on both sides. No pushing, no punching, no guiding. Good. Just leave the racket behind the ball. Okay, good. Come on back here. Now we're going to hit from here. Kirby's going to underhand toss you in the same spot. And now that we have a little bit more distance between us and the net, you're going to start the exact same way with that unit turn to the side. But now we're going to give the ball a little bit of a guide out towards where we're trying to hit. We're going to do that while keeping the racket face totally still and on plane, and doing more of the work with your torso rotating out towards the ball, as opposed to what you were doing before, which was using your hand, your forearm, and your shoulder. Good, Dennis. Good, good. I want to show you a couple. This first one is probably my favorite. Just pushing the racket out towards your target. Racket face is staying really calm. And some of these, I like that one a lot as well. Very direct, very simple. And honestly, what you just did on that rep is all you need for a pretty good chunk of volleys that you hit, like during a match. Most volleys are not like put away balls where you're trying to really stick them and like hit with a lot of pace. When you're transitioning, for example, frequently this is all you need to do. If you hit the ball cleanly and your body's involved and direction of your momentum is going towards your target, you don't need to do any more than what you just saw there. Okay, let's do a couple backhands now. You're gonna, from your ready position, same grip, make that same unit turn to your right, open the racket face up, and then use your shoulder, not your hand or your forearm, to extend out towards your target. Your technique was much more clean to begin with on your backhand side, so I think you'll pick this up pretty quickly on your backhand side. The main thing is that grip. It's gonna take a little bit of time to get adjusted to it. It looks like you're feeling pretty comfortable with it already. Kirby, can you please go 2 steps back behind the service line? Dennis, you're gonna stay right there. This is your target now for the next couple minutes. Kirby's gonna hit you just real relaxed, soft shots, both your forehand and backhand. And your goal is to, primary goal is just to maintain the simple, clean technique that you were just using. And then B, make fine-tuned small adjustments with the angle of your strings and how firm your hand is at contact to get every shot a little bit closer than the shot before to that basket.
Okay.
Good, good. That's really nice, Dennis. Good. Good steadiness with the racket face. Really nice, really nice. Great shot, great shot. Oh my goodness. Here, I want you to watch this exchange. Keep watching. Racket. We're still seeing some kind of twists and turns, but overall
Yes.
we're quiet and calm and
Less, yeah. Yeah.
much less
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
So now Kirby just created more space
Yep.
between you and your target, which means we need a little more force, but not much, because
Yep.
keep in mind, Kirby also just moved further away from us, which
Yes.
means she's giving more force to us to work with in the first place.
They'll have some pace to help.
Exactly. So you should be thinking of this as a redirection of energy as opposed to needing to hit the ball. Yeah. Good, good, good. Excellent, Dennis. Good simplicity. Good job. And just one more specific thing that I want to show you that will help you further clean this up. And that is how far you're taking the racket back initially. You're hinging back on both sides. If your timing would be totally off and the ball would get there way earlier than you thought, and you made contact right here,
Yeah.
the ball would go
That way.
up and out to your right.
Don't need to do that.
No, Kirby's giving you pace right now.
Yeah.
Seeing as we're just trying to place the ball deep in the court,
Right.
there's no need to
Yeah.
take the racket back to here and hinge forwards.
Right.
And this is a pretty consistent thing for you on both sides.
Yeah.
Here's the hinge back. On some shots, this is necessary. If you're close to the net, the ball is shoulder high and floating, and you want to add pace, then laying the racket face back is necessary to create that momentum through the point of contact.
Right.
For these shots, it's not, honestly, it's not needed at all. Like here, very apparent.
Right.
If you were to make contact right now, the ball would go, like it would go up there, like literally would go up there.
Yeah.
Now, you square it in time,
Yeah.
but the volatility that's
Yeah, it just
between here
creates- Yeah, I know.
and here,
Yeah. Yeah. Don't need to have that.
yep.
Yeah.
So at this moment, the ball would be going
Right. Okay.
up and out to the left. So from this side perspective, I would love to see, as Kirby hits you the ball, I would love to see, ideally, the racket face go from ready position right to where the angle is that you're going to make contact, rather than hinge back and then hinge forwards. Does that make sense? On both sides. That would be like absolutely ideal, like perfect scenario. Ready position, right to contact point. Did you lay it back?
No.
Okay, do it again. Did you lay it back? Here's the one you just did.
Oh, I did. Just a little.
Yeah, it's probably halfway in between where you were
Okay.
before.
Okay.
So this is where
I don't need to.
the racket needed to be,
Right.
and this is where you brought it back to.
I see.
So it's probably, I don't know, here's
Yeah.
the middle of the strings here.
Yeah.
So there's,
Yeah.
probably, and it's not that moving forwards is bad, it's more the laying back,
back.
the hinging back that adds a lot of, yeah.
I hear you.
It's nice, Dennis. Yeah, good.
Yeah, but those are too easy. Just a little.
Great job,
look
great
at
job,
that.
great job.
As much as I exaggerate.
Yeah.
There's still a little.
Little bit.
break.
So you're gonna have to kind of trust me on this a little bit.
Yep.
You can still hit a firm,
Yep.
confident, competitive volley from this starting point by really focusing through towards your target. As I said before, sometimes this is necessary, but for the majority, Yes, exactly. For the majority of volleys, it's not necessary. What you just did was like perfect, like clean, simple.
That should be the bread and butter.
Yes, and then we can add on top of that when the time is right. Okay, let's do the same thing on the backhand side, please. Show me two shadow swings from ready position and how you're gonna just put the racket, yep, without laying it back. Really nice, Dennis, really nice. Let me show you what you got going on here. So for me, this is quite a bit of movement, honestly. You have this kind of loop, kind of C motion going back and around up towards contact.
I see. Yeah.
And it was pretty consistent through these. You see that kind of circle motion back there? And so for the next set, would love to see you go from ready position and in a straight line right to contact without any of the C backswing. Show me a few without the ball first. Ready position, and yeah, that's it. That'd be awesome. I would love to see that.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem. Better. Good, Dennis. So this first one was your best. You just put it right there behind the ball, and that was it. And that just left it there. That was awesome. And then as you kept going, you simplified it tremendously.
Yeah.
But notice how you still are kind of looping the racket just a little bit, kind of down.
Well,
So
now it's all out here.
Yes, yeah.
None of it is.
yes, it's much smaller now,
Yeah.
but you still have that tendency to want to like make a little circle out towards the ball. All right, just a few more backhands. Those are a lot better. Nice, Dennis. Okay, let's get a rally now. And Dennis, now I'm gonna have a live rally.
Okay.
Your goal is to execute that same level of calmness and simplicity that you just did when it was one shot at a time,
Right.
but now within a live exchange with Kirby. Nice job. Here's one of our original rallies. I want you to focus your attention on your racket face, on the racket head.
Yeah. It's hard. It's getting dizzy.
The face and the strings, how they're moving around.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now, to your credit, like and I mentioned this earlier, like you become quite good at still lining up the strings most of the time where you want the ball to go. But against better and better opponents, it's going to get tougher and you're going to get away with it less and less the less time you have.
No doubt.
Here's the volleys you just hit with Kirby.
Yeah.
We could still clean these up, but this is a big step in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, the racket's
And there's
going right to the
no
wall.
extra stuff
Extra
after.
stuff.
It's just very direct, directly behind, directly through. You see the difference in feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I could sum this up in like one concept, it would simply be controlling the racket face or controlling the racket head.
Right.
There's now a calmness what your racket is doing as you approach the ball and make contact.
Dennis's volleys have come a long way, and now he has the tools and understanding to be able to feel a lot more comfortable about his net play when he plays singles or doubles. But it's also important to remember, ET fam, that this is only the beginning for Dennis. And to continue his progress, we send him home with a personalized action plan to follow so that he can keep improving every day. But now you can have that same opportunity by downloading our special volley action plan. Even though our coaches won't be standing right next to you like we were with Dennis, we can give you the very next best thing. It's a powerful, effective step-by-step process to follow for your next practice. Get full access to our volley action plan immediately by clicking the link in the description down below or by heading over to www.volleyactionplan.com. Just tell me where to send it and you'll have it in your inbox to access within minutes. Finally, do me a favor, and after you get your action plan, go practice and come back and leave a comment to let me know how it's helping your game. While you're at it, give us a like if this video helped you, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our upcoming lessons. We will see you soon, ET fam.